What up, everybody? Scuff D here, and we are doing a quick little spoiler video for the neutral wave release in the Galaxy in Flames. The Galaxy in Flames expansion is coming to a conclusion, as all expansions do, and they're bringing with us some neutrals, and I have several neutrals to reveal here today. And then we're going to just kind of get into the game and speculate on the future. Collectively as a community, because there are several factions that don't yet have missions or fifth warlords, so we can look forward to those at some point, but we're getting ahead of ourselves. So without further ado, let's dive into these new neutrals. I'm gonna shrink myself down a little bit here. Alright, so first off, we're gonna kick, and I think these are all good. I'm just gonna preface that they're not great, they're all good. Crushing Power. Stun an enemy troop for 1 energy. This actually has a lot of potential for several decks. Alpha Legion are always going to want to enjoy ways to stun. This is a good way to combo with poison for the Death Guard. But one thing with it being such a low energy, 1 energy card, is works well with Marius, the Emperor's Children. If you really want to dive into like a super stun Noise Marine deck, if you want to try something with Arvida in the Agents of the Sigilate and a lot of low cost tactics to kind of spam with this ability, you're getting a benefit here. You're stunning an enemy troop. Now, it is a troop, it's not just a unit, so it is just 1 energy. There has to be troops on the board for this to be effective. But it's got potential. It's a common, it's a chaos tactic, and it doesn't do damage. And I like that because we've got so many tactics that do damage. Let's dial it down. Let's just put in some little interesting things instead. So there you go. There you go. So number 2. Now this one I think has answers for some stuff just about all the time, but especially as of late. Air Superiority. Choose a card in the enemy hand. It costs 4 more until your next turn. Now obviously this, you may not know if the cost reduction is already applied to a card like if an opponent drew with the supply lines, but say a card like Outriders, or another fast troop, the Sark Landspeeder if you're facing a World Eaters deck, a finisher card, Vengeful Spirit, Muster for the War Master. There's a lot of cards that your opponent wants to play, and you can basically either deny them the ability to play that card whatsoever, or have it so that if they play that card, that's all they're going to play, and they won't be able to combo much more on their turn. It delays you a turn, but we've seen that with other cards such as Alaxis Nebula. I think this might delay you a turn better than Edict of Nicaea, even though Edict of Nicaea gets rid of all tactics. There's that infamous top deck where your opponent just happens to just draw the 1 tactic that you want to get rid of, and they're able to play it on curve. Air Superiority denies that. And the cool thing about that too is you choose a card in your enemy hand. So you're getting to look at 3 cards in their hand. So even though you're picking 1, you see 2 other cards that they could play. And hand knowledge is possibly the most powerful knowledge in the game. So that is a very good card. I don't think it'll fit in every deck, but I do think some decks are really going to enjoy this and really use this to give themselves a little bit more time to do what they need to do. So that's a good card. Now, 3rd card I've got is a legendary. It is a neutral legendary. Unfortunately, it's not a mission. We aren't doing missions for neutrals yet, it doesn't appear, and I do think that could cause problems if they did do neutrals for missions, because then you could basically put those missions in Astartes builds, and it may have to be a little bit more specific. They might have to code something to make that work right, but it is a very nice legendary for the Imperial Army. It runs with a theme that I always like doing when I'm playing with Imperial Army troops. That is Tactic Denial. Neora Sukasan, Admiral of the Jovian Fleet. She's a Solar Auxilia. She's a 3/4 for 4. That's not too bad, but her enemy tactics cost 2 more. She is a walking shield generator just for the enemy tactics. It does not affect yours. And because she's a Solar Auxilia, you have several cards that can tutor her into your hand, that can increase her attack, that can lower her cost, that can combo well with her. This is actually a very nice card for the Solar Auxilia. I know they've taken some hits as of late, but this in either in a Solar Auxilia deck or an Imperial army with Solar Auxilia. Just being able to throw her down behind a front line, Latara Saren, or the good old Ogren, Sergeant Cork, and you don't have to worry about your tactics getting their cost increased. You combine this with Lornia Hydra, you combine this with Edict and Nicaea. You can really have multiple tools to deny or hinder your opponent from playing tactics. So they get rid of one, you throw down another. Maybe have two going at the same time. And if you don't run a whole lot of tactics, you could run Sukasan and the shield generator at the same time. This is a really good legendary. Is it a legendary that's going to go in every deck? Not necessarily, but the fact that it does not hinder your cards is very huge. It's a really nice cost, properly statted, and has got a lot of potential with the Solar Auxilia keyword, especially if we see other tactics in the neutral lineup that affect Solar Auxilia or Imperial Infantry. Colonel Ornitov and Fail are going to be able to generate her as well, so there's a lot of potential there. I really like this card. This is a good legendary. So, there you have it, guys. I'm just going to, a little bit smaller because just sink it in. This artwork's pretty cool. This is a clutch character making her way in to the game. No warlords. So are we gonna see more neutral warlords for the game? I don't know. Time will tell. And I'm looking forward to seeing where it goes. But we have just wrapped up, or this week we're wrapping up the Galaxy and Flames expansion and looking forward to the future. And until then, keep playing Legions and have fun. Happy New Year. Bye.